Hi, my name is Janelle, and I'm the author of Loving a Soul Beneath the Autism, an interior analysis of the impact a special needs child bestows upon the family. Today, on World Autism Awareness Day, I would like to share with you 10 small ways you can personally help a family with a child with autism. And now these ways are not things you would normally think of, because in raising a typical child, you could easily do them and no one would think twice. But doing these things with a child with autism, it can totally wreck their whole world. My book is based off of the first 5 years of raising a child with autism, and these ways kind of go off of those first 5 years. So I'll go through the 10 ways first, quickly, just reading them, and then I'll go into more detail with each and every one. So number 1 is do not show up to a house with a child with autism ever unannounced. Just please don't do it. Number 2, enter the home calmly with no loud noises. Number 3, let the child come to you. Never approach a child with autism unexpectedly, both in the home or out in the public. Number 4, do not demand physical affection upon arrival or departure. Number 5, listen to the parent talk, vent, and show their emotions, but rarely, if ever, give advice. Number 6, ask how you can help the family and follow through with what was suggested by the parent. The follow through part is the most important. Number 7, never suggest favoritism towards another child or that another child in the family may have autism. Number 8, avoid generalized comments towards the family. Number 9, never buy a child a toy with autism that has noise attached to it, ever. Number 10, lastly, learn to love them for who they are, not who you expect them to be. Okay, so we'll go back to number 1. So do not show up to a house unannounced ever. Or in public, really surprise them by coming up to them, which is really hard. And I know it doesn't seem what you would normally do, but you need to make exceptions for these special children. So a simple phone call or email ahead of time the night before is enough to ease the child's mind and help the parent prepare the child for what is about to come next. For my son, everything was scheduled. Our lives were completely scheduled, and it was for his benefit. It was not because we need to know what needed to happen next. It was for him. So knowing when the doorbell was going to ring was huge. Knowing when the phone was going to ring, you don't know that, so our ringers were muted. But knowing that before he went to bed, I could tell him, buddy, tomorrow we're going to have someone come over. It was enough in his mind to let him go to bed peacefully, knowing what time they were coming. For the next day, he could be prepared. Now, that didn't mean he wouldn't be overwhelmed with their arrival. It just meant that he could prepare himself ahead of time. So number 2, enter the home calmly with no loud noises. Now this is a big one for older individuals in your family, because for me personally, my grandparents, they loved to come in with loud presents, and my grandma likes to bang her cane against the wall and say hi and how are you and all smiles, and it just didn't work for our son. He's very quiet. He liked quiet things. He liked scheduled activities. He didn't respond well to noise unless he was making it. So that's a huge one. Just enter the home calmly. Basically, talk to the parent. I know it sounds weird to not acknowledge the child, but don't. Just talk to the parent and let the child warm up to you with their own space. I have greet the child as you would a sleeping infant while using a slow and whisper-like speech, and that's very important. Number 3, let the child come to you. Never approach them unexpectedly. And this goes for out in public or at the home. They take a few minutes to warm up, and that's okay. That's their time. That's how they prepare themselves to a new situation. So come into the house and speak in your calm and your slow voice. Don't call their name. Just allow them to approach you. And when they do approach you, smile. Don't act overly excited and like really happy. You're just like, "Hi buddy, how are you?" And just a calm, slow speech that doesn't have rises and falls in the pitch. Just calm and slow. Number 4, do not demand physical attention upon arrival or departure. And this one is big too, because my child would not let me hug him or touch him for his entire 3rd year. And it killed me. But I did it for his benefit. But not many other people did. They still wanted a hug when they left. And that's a normal, typical thing that you expect children to do. But it had to always be on his terms. And we've gotten better now that he's older, but when they're in those first 5 years, life is really, it's really difficult for them. So just don't demand a lot, just accept them. Number 5. And this one was big for me that no one really ever did. Listen to the parent talk, vent, show their emotions, but rarely, if ever, give advice. Special needs parents have enough to deal with from every person they encounter in the world, and hearing your opinion, no matter how close you feel you are to them, is just another factor that may push them away from you. It is incredibly difficult, constantly being told how another person believes you should raise your child, especially if those strategies are the ones used to raise a typical child. So if you care about the parent, allow them to vent, confide, and cry to you. But do not judge them in the struggles. Support them. And support is huge, and support does not mean that you have to be buying them things. It's just having a person that they can call, and not call to say hi, but call to just vent when they're having a difficult time. And I know it's hard to not give advice, but honestly, unless you're living with that child and taking care of that child day to day, you really have no place to tell them what to do unless you are a professional. Number 6, this goes off of number 5. Ask how you can help after they vent, and follow through what was suggested by the parent. It is often extremely hard for asking for help when a parent has so many tasks that need to be dealt with in a timely manner. So when people would say to me, and this is really hard because for me, my piece was cleaning. I love cleaning. So everyone would say, "Oh, you guys should get a cleaning lady so you have less to do." Okay, well, financially, maybe that's not in the parent's best interest. And also, maybe for me, cleaning was my outlet to just do something that I could control. So that kind of put a damper on our relationship because they were offering something that felt happy to me. I liked cleaning. I mean, yes, it takes time, but it gave me peace. So just listen to what they say and follow through to help them. So you can also do, instead of asking how you can help, and when the parent responds, instead of sighing and saying, "Oh, well, I can't do that," actually listen to what they asked you to do and follow through. Number 7, never suggest favoritism towards another child or that another child in the family should be tested. And this has happened countless times by countless individuals. And as a mom of 4, soon to be 5, it happened so many times. And honestly, it was always on my mind. I need to look at my other kids. Is something off with them? If they did one little thing, that was the first thing in my head. So to have another person say it really hurt. So it's a very touchy subject, but it has a relatively simple explanation. And like I just said, a parent raising a child with autism may not be able Oh, okay. So this goes off of the first one, the showing love. Like I said, for my son's 3rd year, it was hard to ever hug him or touch him, or you couldn't, unless you were restraining him from a meltdown. There was no touching. I didn't do it because I knew it hurt him. It physically hurt his skin to be touched. So for me, I had a baby. At the time he was 3, I had a 1-year-old. And he was the only little boy I could hug. So I gave my youngest, at the time, all of my hugs. I did. And it might have seemed wrong and like I was loving him more and I favored him, but I didn't. I gave more of my attention to my oldest, yet the extra hugs and the extra love that I could not show to my oldest, I gave to the baby. And I'm sorry, but that's not favoritism. That's just a parent trying to rationalize something in their head. And it's really hard. It's very difficult. That's why it's a very touchy subject. And the second, about another child being tested, I had so many people say that to me, that, oh my gosh, look at him, he's twirling, he's doing something, do you think he needs looked at? It's like, no, he's just being a kid and he's having fun, he's a little wound up, but you have no place to say that. So please don't suggest that. Number 8, avoid generalized comments towards the family. Comments such as, you're doing too much. Really? You think I'm doing too much? I sleep like an hour a day. So of course I'm doing too much. So you don't need to say that. Let me help you out sometime. Let me watch him for the day so you can relax. And those were the general comments we would receive. Okay, so let me help you out sometime. That's so casual and not concrete. So instead of saying that, you could say, I'd really like to cook you dinner next week on Thursday. Can I do that? That's more concrete. In my head, I can mark on the calendar Thursday. I don't have to think, oh yeah, this person said they'll help us out, but what, am I supposed to ask for that help then and put myself in a position that you're then going to say no and make me feel bad? I don't have time for that. If you really, truly want to help, then offer something concrete that I can write down and help. And the other part, let me watch him for the day so you can go and relax. Okay, well that was a huge thing. Of course I wanted a day to relax, but for my son, it wasn't the best thing for him. Most people wanted to watch him, but they wanted to take him to the park for a whole day, skip a nap, or they wanted to go do what they wanted to do and just take him with you. You couldn't do that with my son. You had to follow his schedule and you had to give everything to him. So if you really want to help that family, then go and take a class on, or listen to the parent. Let the parent tell you the child's schedule and stick to it. That would be helpful. For me and my husband, we went out maybe 4 times a year. And honestly, we would go to dinner and come home. It was not, we went out and went to a movie and then went and got a drink, and there was none of that. It was, oh, hey, let's go Red Lobster quick and get some food and rush right back home. There was no stopping on the way home. It was literally, we go on for 2 hours and 4 times a year. I mean, that was the extent of our lives. It still is the extent of our lives. We have given everything to our child. So if you really want to help a parent, learn how to take care of their child in the proper way that they need, not that you feel is best. Number 9, and a lot of people did this. Never buy a child a toy with noise as a present, no matter how cute it is. For our son, lights, flashing lights, noise, spinning objects. Yes, he loved them. It made him so overstimulated. He got crazy. He couldn't handle it. I mean, yes, it would be cute to, I guess, watch if you're totally oblivious to the condition he has, but it's not cute once the birthday is over, I mean, it was never cute for us. Me and my husband would be like, oh great, another toy we have to get rid of, another toy we have to hide, another thing that we have to do. So just buy them a gift card. Buy the child something that the parent suggests, not that you think is cute. Just for a child with autism, it's easier that way for everyone. Number 10, lastly, learn to love them for who they are, not who you believe them to be. Try not to make exceptions. Try not to make or have expectations for what you want to happen at your visit with the child with autism. Having a child with autism is extremely different than raising a typical child. So please understand that this family needs to function in a new way from what you may believe a day should function like. And you need to be okay with that. You need to accept that this child that you love and that you're coming to see is different, is special, is unique. They have special needs, and they need family members and friends that understand that. Yes, they may not seem, my son never seemed like he had a special need, but he did. He needed a special way of caring for him, and that's what special needs are. So you just have to love them for who they are and how they need to be loved. People are loved in different ways, and they feel love in different ways. Some people you can't hug. Some people you can't do things with that you want to. But if you love them, then you'll learn to love them in the way that they desire to be loved. And number 11, your bonus suggestion, is if you ever see a child with autism out in public and you need to stare, you need to look, you need to, for it's hard not